This is KOCO 5 News at 5.
Speaking out for justice tonight, the wife of a man murdered in Norman tells KOCO she wants all three people accused of killing her husband to spend the rest of their lives in prison. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Mecca Rain. KOCO's Jonathan Cooper spoke with the victim's wife this afternoon and is live at Norman Police Headquarters. Jonathan, they have made arrests in this case, right?
Yeah, Becca, that's right. Norman police have arrested 2 people in this case, and they continue to search for a third one. Now, the victim's wife tells me tonight that she is relieved. Now, this all happened in mid-December. Kenneth Keeling was standing on his balcony at the Summerfield Apartments when 3 people opened fire, killing him. Police say they received several leads in the case, which led them to 3 teens. They arrested 2 of them, 17-year-old Matthias Oropeza and 19-year-old Anthony Mundell, yesterday. Norman police say the teens shot Keeling while firing at another group of people. Keeling's wife, Jeannie, did not want to go on camera because the third suspect is still on the run, but tells us this evening the arrests make her feel better.
I was excited and glad that they actually caught someone, but I'm just waiting on them to get the other one.
Now, as we mentioned, Norman police are still looking for a third suspect in that murder. They're looking for 18-year-old Tevin Kyrese Martin Hicks. If you know where he is, you are asked to call Norman police. And Jeannie tells us tonight that she will be fighting throughout this trial to make sure that all 3 suspects spend the rest of their lives in prison. Reporting live tonight at Norman Police Headquarters, Jonathan Cooper, KOCO 5 News.
Such a tragic story, Jonathan. Thank you. Well, I-40 has reopened tonight after a semi crashed at the I-44 interchange. Now, this caused a huge backup. That semi driver lost control just after noon. The big rig crashed into part of a bridge. It ended up halfway off the roadway. Now, crews spent all day clearing the scene and cleaning up spilled diesel. We're told there were injuries, but no word on how bad they were. And you may have felt some shaking today. 2 sizable earthquakes rattling parts of Oklahoma. A 3.5 earthquake shook the Langston area just before 4 today. The epicenter just a few miles northeast of town. And earlier in the day, a 3.8 magnitude earthquake rattled northern Oklahoma around 2:40. The epicenter was just west of Medford. Now, so far, no reports of damage or injuries. New details about a laundry room burglary in Norman. This suspect now under arrest. Now, this is Merle Songer. Police say he stole change from washing machines at 2 different apartment complexes in December. It took thousands of dollars to fix those machines. Songer has been charged with several counts of burglary and stealing a surveillance camera. Oklahoma City police are looking for crooks who robbed a grocery store near Southwest 29th and Douglas this morning. It happened around 3:45. Now, officers say the 2 men walked into the Rosa Blanca store, pulled out a gun and demanded cash. They were last seen in a dark red SUV. No one was injured.
Well, if you like blue skies on the weekend, your weather wishes came true today. Talk about beautiful weather in February. Not a cloud in the sky. Light winds, highs were in the lower 50s today for central Oklahoma, but we have 54 up in Alva and Woodward, 53 right now in Clinton. 50. When do they hit and when will we warm back into the 60s? We're going to talk all about that in the forecast coming up at 5:15.
Okay, Jonathan, we'll see you then. We're learning more about what caused a huge grass fire that spanned 2 counties last week. Those flames charred nearly 500 acres across Payne and Creek counties. Crews say this started as a controlled fire near Drumright. Those responsible thought the fire was out, but strong winds reignited it last Friday. They won't be cited because there wasn't a burn ban in place. A controversial practice now on hold at an Oklahoma animal shelter. You'll remember we told you about the Bristow Animal Shelter shooting dogs as a form of euthanasia. This is technically legal because the state of Oklahoma does not define what humane is when putting animals down. But after public outcry, animal shelter officials started taking a second look at their practice.
I'm a pet owner, and I wouldn't want any of my dogs or anything shot in that manner.
That dog could change somebody's life, and that's what they don't realize, and that's what people aren't thinking about, and it gets me every time.
And now more people in the community are stepping up, saying they want to help the shelter find forever homes for the animals there. Well, back here in the metro, pet owners learning how to best care for their animals. The Cleveland County Fairgrounds hosted a big animal welfare expo. Those attending had a chance to get their pets microchipped, learned how to make dog toys, and learned what to do if you spot a wild animal that's injured. Pets from the Norman Animal Shelter also found forever homes today. Well, a huge test for the Thunder tonight. They're getting ready to face off against the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors have won most of their games.
They're the best team in the NBA, and it's really the game we've been looking forward to all season long. Regular season games don't get this big. This is the biggest one I can ever remember covering the Thunder since they've been here. And the Warriors, yes, have won the most games this year. They're 45-4 this season, and they haven't lost at home. They've won 40 straight there in Golden State, so the Thunder do have their work cut out for them tonight. That tip-off is at 8 o'clock Mecca, but they're playing at the right time right now. Thunder playing their best. They've won 12 of the past 13 games. Well, much more on this coming up later in sports. I can't wait.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, lead-foot drivers have one neighborhood on edge. More people are exiting Lake Hefner Parkway and using Independence to try to beat the backup. The posted speed limit is 25 miles per hour, but yesterday, our radar gun showed drivers going up to 15 miles over the limit.
I still have 2 children who can't come out and play because people fly down this road. We've seen 4 accidents right on this corner. So it's scary to have people going up and down the street well beyond the speed limit.
Neighbors have contacted both the city and police to get drivers to slow down, and crews have put up extra signs, but neighbors say drivers seem to ignore them. To the New Hampshire primary, that's on, and candidates are spending the weekend on the ground looking for votes for the GOP. It's also debate night just hours away right here on ABC. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the latest on what to expect.
The stage is set for what's expected to be a slugfest.
If we can bring out a decent vote on Tuesday, I am confident we're going to win.
A lot of confidence from candidates on both sides. The Republicans, of course, hopeful that success in tonight's debate will translate to votes here on Tuesday. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
And you can watch tonight's Republican debate only on KOCO 5. It starts at 7 p.m. right after Wheel of Fortune. Meanwhile, next Tuesday, voters here in Oklahoma head to the polls to decide on local issues. Voters in Grady County will decide on whether to raise the sales tax to pay for a new surgery center at Grady Memorial Hospital. Surgeries were suspended last year because of air conditioning issues. A sales tax also on the ballot in Guthrie. It would fund the purchase of a new fire truck. The current ladder truck has been out of commission for months now. Guthrie has to rely on other departments during big fires, and that can drag out response times. Another sign that low oil prices are putting a big dent in Oklahoma's economy. Treasurer Ken Miller says state revenue took its biggest plunge in more than 5 years last month. Oklahoma collected about $150 million less compared to January of 2015. Now that's a 13% drop and the first double-digit decrease since the treasurer's office started tracking revenue back in 2010. Also, February is Black History Month, so the Oklahoma History Center is celebrating by showing documentaries, giving presentations, and welcoming keynote speakers for those events. Now, this afternoon, the kiddos got a hands-on history lesson with crafts and fun for all ages.
So we're trying to get more people into the museum so that they can see the great history and the diverse history that Oklahoma has. And we are also trying to make sure that when people come into the museum, they feel welcome, that there's activities going on, and try and bring people in that maybe not have been here previously.
The Oklahoma History Center will dedicate each Saturday this month to celebrating Black history with different activities. Well, new tonight, Edmond City Council considering construction for new city council chambers. It would be located at the site of the former police department at First and Littler. This past week, the mayor talked to an architect about that proposal. The Edmond Sun says the new council chambers would be a 3-story building similar to the new public safety center. About 100 staff would be housed in that new facility. A race against the clock to save dozens of people trapped following a deadly earthquake. How weather is playing a factor in the search for survivors in Taiwan.
A sunny end of the weekend, but I'm going to show you when strong north winds hit, making it feel a lot more like winter.
And natural gas spewing out of the ground for nearly 4 months. The plan for residents in nearby neighborhoods to finally return home. Stay with me.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 5 o'clock in high definition.
Well, tonight we're getting a new look at the terrifying aftermath of a powerful earthquake in Taiwan. Here you can see emergency crews rescuing children from a building that collapsed. Crews are still looking for dozens of missing people. At least 14 people have died after that 6.4 magnitude quake that struck yesterday. Well, nearly 500 have been injured. Rescue crews are working against the clock because colder temperatures are putting trapped victims in greater danger. Now to France now, arrests during protests today. Hundreds of demonstrations showed up to a town in northern France. They're speaking out against a migrant encampment. Nearly 6,000 people are living in that camp, hoping to travel to the UK. An anti-Islamic group is organizing similar protests across Europe. And in California, authorities have called off the search for survivors of that mid-air plane crash near the port of Los Angeles. Divers found wreckage yesterday, but no bodies. 3 people remain missing, and all of them are older than 60 years old. Well, a natural gas leak in Southern California is still not sealed, but a controversial plan involving residents has been scrapped. That gas has been leaking since October. Thousands of people in Porter Ranch have been forced to leave their homes. The gas company has been providing housing for families. Originally, though, residents would only have 48 hours to move back into their homes once that leak is plugged. But now authorities want displaced residents to move back.
Now, your first alert forecast, certified most accurate.
If you like light winds, you better get out there and enjoy the weather this evening and tomorrow morning. 50s into next weekend. Next chance of precipitation is the following Monday. I believe that's the day after Valentine's Day. I think that's the 15th of February, 30% chance. And, you know, we're kind of watching this weather pattern. Tweak the numbers a little bit. Doesn't look as cold days 9 and 10.
Okay, but otherwise a good looking forecast.
I think a lot of people are happy.
That looks like a week we should take the show outside if we could.
For February, you could do that.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, an Iowa man getting help with his favorite winter hobby. Mason Rumpf loves to snowplow his neighbor's driveways and sidewalks. Great neighbor there. The 22-year-old has lived with cerebral palsy all his life, and his friends and neighbors came together to donate a new snowplow wheelchair.
He likes being useful and he likes to work.
It's really great. Hope a lot of fun out.
Oh, bless his heart. Well, Mason is hoping for more chances to plow his neighbor's driveways before spring starts. Well, we want to thank everyone who showed up to the Oklahoma County Fairgrounds for the Affair of the Heart event today. This is a huge expo where you can check out arts and crafts, antiques, and gourmet food. You'll have another chance to meet us tomorrow. Just head over to KOCO.com for all the details. We hope you'll come out. Well, finding out what's bugging your baby, how a new app is claiming to know what's making them cry. And 3 family members posting a photo on Twitter, the question that made this picture go viral.